Yeah. It's nice to be fair. I didn't really knew that I won it until today, so it was quite surprising to hear that I won it.
You've got quite a reputation at the moment, haven't you, for being entertainers in League One in terms of the football that you play. And I think Rochdale scored 17 goals in January. It was a
Yeah,
bit of a crazy month, wasn't it?
yeah. It was crazy to be fair. Every game we go into, we don't even know what the scoreline is gonna be. Everyone's pulled through this month, and I think we're as a team we're doing very well.
What about you personally as well? I know you scored a few goals in January and put in some good performances. Do you feel like you're playing some of your best football at the moment?
Yeah. At first, I was quite nervous to play League One, but I think I've adapted to it very well. And I think this in January, I think is I'm showing people what I can really do, and I think I can show more of what I can do as well.
What do you put it down to then? That obviously January was particularly good for you. What do you put that form down to? Do you think it's just you're finally settling in, or?
Um, I think coaches and staff have been giving me advice on things I should do on the pitch, and I think I'm handling it quite well. I think I was doing the taking people on the 1v1s very well, but I think for me to get more recognition, I think I needed to score more goals, and I put my mind on scoring goals this season, and yeah, I think January paid off. Yeah,
And am I right in thinking were you born in Germany? Is that right?
yeah. I was born in Germany.
So then, how old were you when you came over to England then?
Born in Germany, left Germany when I was 1 year old, went to Ghana for a couple of years, came to England when I was like 5, and then from there, spent like a year or 2 years out of football, obviously training with my dad and stuff like that, but out of like academy football and training, then my dad started getting me into like teams and stuff.
I was going to say, I've read that you're at Crystal Palace as a youngster. I was going to ask you how that came about really, and how you ended up in their academy.
Yeah, it was strange really, because when I was at that Palace, it's like it wasn't like the actual academy. It was like foundation. They used to come into my school when I was in year 2 or 3, and they used to at lunchtime. They used to set a football match for us to play as kids, like 5v5 and stuff like that. And I knew one of the guys that used to come in, and one day I saw him when I was shopping with my dad, and he recognized me, and he came up to my dad and said I was a good player and stuff like that. And he got my dad's number down, and the next day he contacted my dad saying I should come in for a training session with the Palace lads, and from there on it just yeah.
That must have been quite an experience then, training with a club like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was surprising. It's overwhelming really, because from a young age going to academy football was crazy.
And
Yeah.
obviously, I know we've seen a lot about your ball boy incident when you were at Crystal Palace, but I know you were released from the club when you were 14. What was that like for you? Because obviously you'd been given that opportunity, and then you were released at such a young age. It can't have been easy for you.
No, it wasn't too easy for me. To be fair, I think I handled it pretty well, because I kind of knew it was coming, so I prepared myself for it. Because to be fair, as a young kid, I wasn't really well behaved. So yeah, Palace said they couldn't. When the day came into day release, I kind of knew. I had a feeling that I would be released, so it wasn't too much of a surprise. But then obviously I said to I think the Daily Mail that Joe Shields contacted me straight after the day I got released, and took me to a club in Croydon called Kinetic. And from
Yeah, I
there
was going
on,
to ask you about
I
them.
think that's when I started. Yeah. From there on, I think that's when I started becoming a better player, because the coaching staff showed that they cared a lot, and they were ex academy coaching staff. So to get into an environment where it's academy training based really helped me as well.
was going to say, what did you learn from that experience then? Because it's slightly different experience and it's a slightly different route back into professional football, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what did you learn from your time at Kinetic Academy?
To be fair, from my experience, I didn't think it was too different. There was some different parts to comparisons towards academy football, but it wasn't too different because the coaching staff, as I said, came from academies, so they knew how to set up academy drills, give advice on what you need to do to become better as a player and stuff like that. And I think the coaches really they really cared about the players and they showed that they cared. So most of the players felt like they were wanted and they wanted to improve and become a better player themselves.
And so how did the move to Rochdale come about in 2019? Did they help you find a club?
To be fair, the move to Rochdale was all of a sudden because I had a couple clubs in that time period. I had a couple clubs wanted me to go in, so I went on trial for Fulham, and I quite liked it there. But Rochdale came in, and they told me that they wanted me to go straight into the first team and train first team. So obviously it was an easy decision from there. Came in, I think it was 1 or 2 weeks, like a little trial. And yeah, Brian told me that they wanted to sign me, so I was happy.
And you were, what were you, 16, 17 at the time? How did you find sort of moving from London to the north at such a young age? That must have been quite a big thing for you.
Yeah, to be fair, I have a cousin that lives up here, so it wasn't too hard. And I'm not the type of person that really gets homesick, so I think I handled it quite well.
So obviously you've moved to Rochdale. You've since obviously played first team football, which was obviously important for you, as you said.
Yeah.
How have you found that step up to playing in League One week out? Because it's so competitive, isn't it? And it's intense, and there's something riding on every game. How have you found the step up?
To be at first, it was quite difficult. I would say. From academy football is not that physical. It's not really fast, but there are good players in academy football. But the step up to actual men's football was at first it was hard because it seems I thought I was fast in academy football, but it seems men's football they were faster, stronger. They read the game well. The pace on passing and stuff like that was quite fast. So I had to quickly adapt myself and put my head down and train hard.
I was going to say, do you think it's improved you as a player coming in and playing the football you're playing? Because some weeks you could be playing against 17, 18-year-old kids like you. Other weeks you can be playing against 35-year-old centre-backs who have been in the game for 20 years. So there's a bit of everything, isn't there?
Yeah. I think it's helped me quite a lot actually. It makes me read the game well as well because you're coming against a experienced player, so you can't really lose focus. You always have to be in focus on what you're doing. Like when the ball comes to you, you have to think about your next move until the ball comes to you and stuff like that. So I think it's helped me quite a lot.
And obviously you scored your first professional goal in December against Wigan.
Yeah.
It was earlier this season. Might have been
Yeah.
slightly different experience for you because there was no fans in the stadiums. It's all behind closed doors. But what do you remember about scoring your first goal? It must have been a great feeling for you.
Actually, Humphreys. I remember I had one chance where I could have scored, but I didn't shoot. I didn't shoot. But Humphreys came up to me and said, "Kwadwo, next time you get the ball, don't think of anything else. Just shift the ball and shoot." So I kept that in mind, and then Alex played the crossing, and I saw the ball coming towards me. So I was thinking I should just shift it and shoot, and I think that was the right decision to do, and it paid off.
Got quite a celebration in your locker as well. I've seen some photos of you doing backflips. Is that something that you've always done?
Yeah. To be fair, that's been my celebration, my main celebration, from a young age. To be fair, it wasn't a plan for me to do um to do a backflip, but I think Brian kept saying to me anytime I score my first goal, I should do it. But yeah, came.
And obviously in the Rochdale team as well, you're playing with people like Matty Lund, Jimmy
Yeah,
Keohane, Jimmy McNulty. They're all experienced
yeah.
players. So you've got the young and the older around you. Do you feel like you're learning from them, and with that, you're getting better every game?
Yeah, because they're experienced as well. They give me good advice and like to become a better player. And I think the advice they give me to do on and off the pitch, I think has helped me a lot to become a better person as well. Because they're experienced, like they give me advice on how when to move, when to pass the ball, when to dribble, and I think it's helped me a lot.
What about the manager as well? He's been fairly complimentary about you and your
Yeah,
form this season. It must be nice to hear him speak about you so
yeah.
well. But how has he helped you develop as a player?
He's helped me quite a lot. As I said, there's not many managers out there that care about players as he does, because he actually takes time to understand the player and shows players how to improve and stuff like that. And I think everyone's grateful for him.
And obviously, Rochdale have got quite a good reputation for bringing young players through and trusting in the youth as well, haven't they?
Yeah,
That must
yeah,
be important for a player like you, because you know that you're going to be given a platform
yeah,
to go and shine and tell the world what you can do.
yeah. It's very important because as a young kid going to the first team, some kids will be nervous, but um, the coaches and staff are always welcoming. So it takes like weight off your shoulders, and like you're free to do anything you want, take people on, show them what you have. And I think yeah, it really helps young kids like understand the game as well.
And when you look at people like Luke Matheson's a great example from Rochdale. Obviously, he made his debut for the club, I think, when he was 15,
Yeah.
had a couple of seasons and then signed for Wolves in the Premier League. Do you look at players like him and just think, that's the aim, but League One is going to give me that platform to go on and do that?
Yeah. That was my plan from a young age. Since Rochdale came in for me at 16, that was my plan. Going to straight into the first team, gain experience, and then League One football is obviously I would say a good competition. Um, gain experience, and then hopefully like move on up the ranks.
And finally, what are your aims for the rest of the season, both personally and for the club?
My aim getting more experience, more in appearances and start getting more goals. Obviously, score more goals for the club, and hopefully, if there's any chance, get to the playoffs.